Hey everyone, I am back. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. I hope that you have had a very, very wonderful week. For those of you who tune in every single Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here live on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live, welcome back. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. For those of you who are brand new to mental health moment, if this is your first mental health moment, welcome, welcome. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. We are here live every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. And for those of you who are watching the replay on Dr. Nikisha Hammond YouTube page, be sure to like this video, share, and subscribe to the page. So thanks for those who are starting to join here. Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. Let me know in the comments here where you are tuning in from today. Hopefully, I will be able to see these comments that tend to do whatever they want sometimes with technology. Um, but again, hope all of you are well. For those of you who are new to mental health moment is all about how do you work on becoming the best version of who you are so you can show up powerfully for yourself and for the people around you. Self-care is absolutely not selfish. Hopefully, I feel like lately we're understanding that more and more as a society because again, you're helping yourself, but you're also helping the people around you. And thanks for joining here from Boston. Welcome back. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. Wilmington, Delaware's in the house. Welcome, welcome. Delaware, that is actually a state that I really want to go to because I've been to 46 states. Can you guys believe that? 46 states in the US out of the 50. And I have 4 more to go. And one of them is Delaware. So I need to make a point to find something to do in Delaware here. But that's pretty cool. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for I posted, don't forget, all good. Thanks again for joining. Let me know where you're tuning in from here in the chat. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. And and um and also I wanted to remind you all, drnikishahammond.com/events is where you can always go to get updated information of where I'll be speaking this year. So actually coming up here rapidly. I think they closed the registration though, but this Saturday I will be in Clearwater speaking at the International Training Day for nannies. So super excited about that. Speaking about how to help mental health of our youth and also how to support nannies, caregivers, parents. So I'll be at that conference and also the following week. That registration should still be open on. I'm saying the days like you guys, hold on, let me see. That last one I just talked about was April 12th. The next one is April 17th, Thursday, April 17th. For the Project Management Institute, I'll be talking about emotional intelligence and resilience, and that will be out in Tampa Bay, Florida, if you're in the area. Again, drnikishahammond.com/events, or I'm usually posting these on LinkedIn as well as other social media platforms. So you can catch the link to sign up on those platforms. Someone said, come see us. We're close to Philadelphia. Yes, for sure, for sure. Nigeria's in the house. Welcome, welcome. San Francisco, welcome back. Thanks so much for joining here. Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. The other thing is for those of you who are in or near the Atlanta area, I will be hosting, I think I told you all before. And we're working on the flyer and whatnot to get more information out, of course, which will also be on the website very, very soon. But I'll be hosting the growth mindset and self-care summit that I did last year virtually for some of you who attended. I'll be hosting this year in person, which I'm super excited about. And it will be in the Atlanta area in October. But all that information is coming. I'm kind of giving you guys a sneak peek information where our team is working on the flyers and getting all the info out there. And as soon as that is all available and the exact date, I will definitely let you guys know. But that will be in October in Atlanta if you're in that area. Super excited about that. Good evening from Seattle. Welcome, welcome. Thanks so much for joining here. Treasure Coast, Florida's in the house. We got Florida in the house. And for those of you who are new to mental health moment, I do reside in the Tampa Bay area of Florida. So I am in Florida. Two. Okay, so today's mental health moment, in case you haven't noticed what I'm wearing today, I'm super excited. For those of you who do not know me, I am not, I wouldn't say I'm a Gator fan, a Florida Gator fan. Actually a Florida Gator fanatic, which is why I have my, my Florida Gator stuff here. I'm about to add a basketball to the collection of my items. So for those of you who do follow college basketball, the Florida Gators won the national championship last night, which I was very elated about. It was a very it was a very interesting game. It was a very close game. At the very end, we ended up winning by 2 points. So if you follow college basketball or saw any sort of news today, actually related to sports, it was definitely on the news. So super excited about that. Hello from Brazil. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining here. So, in honor of and I say my team because I went to the University of Florida, so that's my alma mater, and I am, like I said, a Gator fanatic when it comes to basketball and football. But in honor of that, I wanted to share with you all on today's mental health moment, um, just an idea of how to be a champion of your own life, right? Because we see all the time, whatever type of championship, maybe you follow sports, maybe not, but there's just all these things that we usually see on TV or on social media about being a champion. But the reality is you don't, and whether or not you're a Gator fan or not, you can also be the champion of your own life. Good evening to you as well. Thanks for joining here. Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. So a couple of ways. So the first thing is understanding that when you think of, well, first of all, when you think about if you were the champion, right, of your own life, first of all, what does that mean for you, right? And you can put in the comments if you want, or just something for you to think about this week. But when you say, okay, I want to be the champion of my life, what is that? What does that look like? Because hopefully, many of us have our wellness goals. We have our mental health goals too, I hope, especially if you've been listening to Mental Health Moment. We talk a lot about that because we have a lot on our to-do lists, but it's also important that we have our own mental health and wellness goals too. So for you, when you think about if you were to be the champion of your life, what would that look like? And hopefully, and if it this is something you haven't thought of before, maybe you can take the time this week to really sit with yourself and visualize what does that look like. Or if you want to jot it down, if you're a writer, you want to jot it down or journal it or just think about it. Take the time to think about it. But the first thing I want to remind you of is that, champions are not made overnight. So I feel like probably every week, for those of you who are not new on Mental Health Moment, I'm always remind you all that this process, wherever it is, wherever you're at in your wellness journey, it's not an overnight process. And I say that because sometimes, which is normal, we get impatient with ourselves. So whatever you have that's on your goal list or what you want to do differently, or maybe you wanted to add in more self-care and something came up and you were too busy or whatever the thing was, that's causing you grief and anxiety or whatever you're feeling, just know that, this takes time, right? Changes take time. Developing new habits take time. Changing who you are as a person into a better person, it takes time. It's not overnight. Just as how my lovely Gators, definitely, if you followed at all, by the way, March Madness this year with college basketball, it was crazy. Well, I was like, I'm kind of a maniac when I watch these games. When I watch Gator football or basketball, I'm definitely a maniac. And so I am like just cheering very loudly in my house. I call myself an honorary coach because I'm sitting there trying to coach players. Clearly, they cannot hear me through the TV. But I like to coach them, nonetheless. And so, it was a crazy season. Lots of things happened, a lot of close games. My heart was racing. I was nervous, right? Like all these things were happening, but in order to be who they are now, like national champions, it wasn't an overnight process, right? They had to take the close calls, they had to take they're down. Like when you think about these games, like you have to mentally be in a space where you're like, oh my gosh, like even last night, the championship game, they were down 12 points at one point. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm getting nervous. Like, please feel free to, right, get back on track. We have to win this game. And it's the same thing for us though in life. Like there's going to be times when you feel like you are down. Like you're like, "Oh my god, I'm in a dark place or I'm in a difficult situation or I don't think I can get through this." Like there's just things that are going to happen. That's just what life throws at us. But if you remember, right, like champions aren't made overnight. And some of that heartache and pain and trials and tribulation that come about, I know it's not the easiest thing to think about during the hard times, but when you're on the other side of that and you've made it through, then you can look back and say, you know what? Now I see my resilience. Now I see how I made it through. Now I see that I was able to do it. I see it wasn't an overnight process, right? Those are some of the things um, to remind yourself of. Someone said that having your own mental health goals is so important. Yes, like very important because again, your mental health, and I'm not just saying this as a psychologist, but your mental health is important. Your physical health, of course, very important, but so is your mental health. So is your mindset. You hopefully should be doing things. I mean, you're here. Thank you for being here on Mental Health Moment. But in addition to that, whatever you're reading or listening to, whatever personal development looks like for you, making that commitment for you, right? Because again, we're building. You're going to be a champion in your own life. So it's not an overnight process. Hi from England. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining here. Someone said, I agree. Changing yourself takes time. It absolutely does. And the reason why I shared, so tip number one for you to remember is that, champions are not made overnight. So, but the reason I want to remind you of that is because it is so easy to get caught up in the self blame game. Of all the emotions that I've heard, so this is year 16, by the way, of me being a licensed psychologist. I'm still at the private practice part of the time, and then I'm running around doing 500 other things and a lot of different projects, which I love, related to public education. But nonetheless, um, one of the most common emotions that I've heard is guilt, fill in the blank for all different situations, and also self blame. So it's you can try to get out of those emotions though, which you can try to get out of those emotions though when you recognize that this is not an overnight process. When you recognize that this takes time. When you celebrate your small wins. When you recognize that you can overcome, when you can get through that. It's a lot of positive self-talk too, which is a whole nother mental health moment. But that's the type of mindset that gets you to be a champion of your own life. Um, and someone said, let me see. Um, oh, Virginia's in the house. Welcome, welcome. Someone said, whatever you read and listen to matters. Great point. Yes. Yes. We've talked a lot about that too, on previous mental health moments, that really, really being aware of what you are reading and what you're listening to and who you're surrounding yourself with. Like all of that matters. It really does. Some things are within your control, some things are without, which we talked about in the last mental health moment. But yes, who and what and where, the things you surround yourself with, I mean, you're taking that in, right? Your brain and your body can be affected by that. So just watching that, very important. Hi from Texas. Welcome. Others, yes, from Texas. Welcome, welcome. Um, Someone says, celebrate your small wins. A lot of people don't do that. Yes, a lot of times we wait until the biggest things happen, which are great. Like celebrate the big wins too in your life, but also the little things. Celebrating those are what can help you along your journey. Because sometimes the big wins, whatever the big win looks like for you, sometimes they don't happen that often, right? So let's say it's a promotion, or let's say it's a new car or a new house or a new relationship or a new whatever, like something big for you in your life, whatever you define that as, it might not happen that often. So what? You're going to only celebrate every couple of years? Like, we don't want to do that. So I give you permission, celebrate small wins too. If you're like, you know what, today I decided to go on a walk and do my self-care and take my 10 minutes to myself, celebrate that. You're allowed to celebrate that. And so, okay, the second thing I wanted to share with you, and for those of you who are just joining here, is Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. We've been talking today about how you can be the champion of your own life in honor of the wonderful Florida Gators. I'm really excited, y'all. But the wonderful Florida Gators winning the national championship last night for college basketball. So I was super excited. I was, yes, very excited. Um, Screaming my head off. I'm surprised I'm not like more hoarse today for my voice. But nonetheless, the second thing I want you to remember is that when you think about training to be the champion of your own life, to remember that your mental health is a part of that too. All right. So what's interesting, my son actually he's 12. He plays basketball. And of course, like any sport, like there's the physical training, right? There's the different skills and shooting the basketball or dribbling or defense, like all these parts of the sport, the physical parts of the sport. You got to run, you got to condition your body, you got to right, get into shape. And also in your life, there's the mental health training that you need as well. So my poor son, I don't know if he's happy or not about it, but he has a mom as a psychologist. So we talk a lot about mindset. Like it's like you get your head in the game. Like for you, you might not be an athlete, but get your head in the game of life. Like where is your mindset at? Right? Like are you preparing yourself? Are you training yourself? Using your are you exercising your mental muscle, if you will, meaning practicing how to deal with situations? I know it sounds a little odd, but just as how you would go to practice for a sport physically for your body, you also have to get into a mindset where you're practicing, if you will, how to get through certain situations. And that just comes with when you deal with certain situations and you work on the positive self talk, when you work on better coping skills. We all have different coping skills, healthy, actually. When you work on healthy, using healthy coping skills to get through, that's practice, right? Then you can say, okay, the next time that situation happened or another situation that was difficult happened in your life, you're like, okay, I know what to do now because last time whatever, like I had these healthy coping skills that I used and I'm going to use it again. Okay, it's a little bit easier this time. I'm going to, do that again next time, right? It takes practice. Um, for someone said forward always, go, go, go. Yes. Someone said, I love this conversation. I love that you're here. And someone said, your environment and what you take in can affect your mood. Absolutely. Absolutely. So again, like when you think of training, you also have to think of training your mindset. It is so important for you to think about also the development, your personal development, your emotional health, your mental health, making decisions that as best as you can also go along with what is in the best interest of your mental health, what is in the best interest of your emotional health and physical health too, of course, but also for your sanity, right? For your mindset. Um, and so the third thing I want to share with you today, as I'm wrapping up here in today's mental health moment, is that when you think about a playbook, right? Because we're talking about how to be our own champions today. I want you to really seriously remember that self-care has to be a part of your playbook. And I share this with you. I was actually I was at a dinner recently and I was having a conversation with someone and we were just chatting and she asked me, when did because I told her I used to just run myself into the ground. Some of you already know this story, but I used to just be, someone even said in the comments, like, go, go, go. And like, that was my mentality for so long, like childhood, getting into college, getting into grad school, like just doing all these things, no self-care, not thinking about my own mental health, which is why I preach a mental health moment, right? But I did that for so long. And I was sharing with her, I was like, I remember that there was a point, my son was maybe 3 or 4 at the time, and definitely hitting burnout. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like this is not gonna work. It's not sustainable. And I had to make some massive changes in my life. And now for me, and I hope for you, or even if you're not there, for you to get into the mindset of knowing that you can change to have self-care as a part of your playbook. Right. So whatever's in your playbook, whatever you're trying to achieve in your life, we all have different goals. Also, self-care has to be in there. So, and I share this with you because it's not as if my schedule got any lighter. All right, I have a lot of different projects that I'm working on. I love the majority of what I do. Some things are just harder than others, but the majority of what I do in the spaces I'm in, I absolutely love and enjoy them. Um, but it's busy and it's hectic and it's a lot of juggling, right? and the self-care is in there now, though. That's the difference. That's the secret sauce, if you will. A lot of people have been like, "How do you do what you do?" Because how do you juggle so much? It's like, well, because now, not before, not the majority of my life, but now self-care is a part of it. Like it's in the playbook, right? It's how do you be your own champion? Add in the self-care. What does self-care look like for you? We all have different things that we enjoy, but add in the self-care. Give yourself permission to make sure that you're taking care of yourself and, right? It's not a or. It doesn't mean you're lazy because you're taking some time out for yourself. If you took 10 minutes for yourself, you know, whatever that looks like for you, taking that 10 minutes for yourself, it doesn't mean you're lazy and you didn't get your work done. It means no, you're working on taking the break that maybe you need. Maybe it's in your workday and it makes you more productive anyway. And it can help your mindset and help you physically to calm down and ground and get into a better space. Like there's a lot of different benefits of it, but it's first having the commitment to say, okay, you know what? Let me add self care into my life. So that's the third thing that I want you to be thinking about today. Um, Someone said, I pushed myself to achieve a lot of goals in my earlier years and didn't realize that was not healthy. And you know what? I'm glad you brought that up. So it's like it is okay. I am I would be a hypocrite if I said like, "Oh, you guys just, chill, Netflix and chill and don't like chase any goals." I'll be a complete hypocrite, right? It is okay to have a lot of goals. It is okay to chase whatever it is for you that makes sense for your life that brings you joy and happiness and fulfillment. Huge on that. And also have the self-care though. That's the twist on it. So again, I promise you my life is not it's very busy, it's very hectic in a lot of different ways, but the difference is I take care of myself. I'm definitely at the gym way more than I ever have been in my life. I make time for me. I make time for like the things that are important to me. I make sure my mental health is okay. Right. That's one of the things for me personally. I'm a woman of faith. So I'm praying to God, like, dear Lord, some days, like just help my mindset too. And pray for my mental health, right? Because it does get busy and hectic and stressful. But also it's keep it in mind, like where's your mindset at? How is my mental health? How am I doing? Right? Checking in with yourself. Someone's someone says self-care for me is sleeping with capital SLEEPING, capital sleeping. That's so funny. You know what? And it's all good though. It's all good. Sometimes taking a nap it's a healthy thing. Now, I can get into a whole other mental health moment about sleep. So, I mean, yes, if we're sleeping way too much, then that's not healthy. But taking a quick nap, if that's your self-care, it's all good. It recharges your body, it recharges your mind. It's all good. Um, Someone said I need to breathe and calm down. Yes, breathing, ooh, it's one of my favorite things. It's so underrated. It's so underrated. It's literally free. It literally can take you like 30 seconds to get in the practice of it, but we forget. A lot of times we're either holding our breath or we're breathing very in a very shallow way, or maybe we're breathing too fast. Like there's all these things. It's a Anyways, there's a whole lot about it, more about it on YouTube. I could do a whole mental health moment about it. But about breath work and how important it is to like tune into that. And it's something that again, it takes time, right? It's not overnight, but it takes practice and you really do start to stop and like I call it take a minute and become aware of your breathing. But it's a really quick, great way actually to calm your body down, get your, blood pressure back down, reset, recharge, take some deep breaths, clear your mind for a second. Doesn't make all your problems go away, but it does help you physically and emotionally and mentally. So I love that. Someone said taking a long walk. Love nature walks. That's super awesome. Good for you. Someone said, Amen. That's also being a woman of faith. Beautiful. Someone said it does the body good, like a baby taking an afternoon nap. You guys are making me laugh today. Yes, yes, it can. Yes, it can. Naps, I approve. I approve for you. Yeah, naps are fine. Again, I mean, within reason. Sometimes when we are very depressed or very anxious or whatever it is that we're going through, I mean, obviously a long amounts of time sleeping and just withdrawing or something like that to that extreme, not healthy, of course, but taking quick naps, all good. All good. And I like that you all shared the different things that you do because again, self-care, it looks different. It looks different for us. I can run down my list of self-care things. You might be like, nope, I have no desire to do that. I want to do something else. Or your brother, sister, mother, friend, or whomever may have their self-care thing. And you're like, nope, that's not for you. Like you do something different. It's all good. It's a matter of, is it healthy? Right? There's certain things that are not good for self-care time, but is it healthy? What you're doing, does it bring you joy? Does it bring you fulfillment? Do you feel calmer in your mind and in your body after you do those said things? Like you said, taking the walk, taking a nap, breathing, calming down, like those are things that are healthy. So I want to really challenge you this week as I wrap up mental health moment. I want to challenge you this week to think about again, what does it look like for you to be a champion of your own life? If you were like literally to finish the sentence, like, I am a champion of my own life when blank. What is that answer for you? And it's not a right or wrong. It's just something that you need to consider, hopefully start to visualize. I'm a big fan of visualization, but just taking the time to think about what does that look like for you in your life, and then you start, of course, to implement the steps to get there. Um, Let me see. Someone said, I work long hours and I have a lot of vendors out in the country. I talk to a lot of people in the middle of the night, so I have to tap in and take a nap whenever I can because some days I don't get sleep. It's very important for me to get myself 20 to 30 minutes of, I guess, like naps just so I can recharge. All good. All good. And again, yes, we all have different schedules. Some of you listening to this may be retired, some of you may be working, some of you may be working multiple jobs, some of you may be temporarily not working. Like we all have our different schedules and demands and different responsibilities. And it's really important to find the time that makes sense for you, that is feasible for you to add in the self-care. Remember, self-care is a part of your playbook. That's the key to making yourself your own champion, right? Champion of your own life. So, all right. So I'm going to wrap up today's mental health moment. Thanks so much for all your comments in the chat. I love when I can actually read the chat. Sometimes technology does what it does and I can't see the comments, unfortunately, but I could today, which is kind of nice. But I will be back next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here live on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. So have an amazing week. Be blessed. Go Gators. I'm so excited, y'all. Go Gators. And I'll see you all next week. Bye, guys.